tonight's edition of FSU Weather, we're going to have a look at our local conditions first. You can see right now a lot of clouds covering over the area, making it just a little bit gloomy for us, but that is keeping our temperatures fairly nice for us right now. It is 57 degrees and cloudy, maybe a little bit misty, a shower or two for most of you guys here in the metro, but a little bit on the windy side, maybe 7 miles per hour, so hold on to your hats, guys, here in Tallahassee. But most of this rain is staying up towards our north and west. All of you in Defuniak Springs towards Bainbridge might be seeing that rain right now, but for us, it's going to make it to us later tonight. These temperatures here are looking very nice here in the 60s for most of us in Florida, and in Georgia, maybe a little bit lower towards the 50s. Dews are fairly wet for us right now, which is making these gloomy conditions a little bit amplified for us. But tonight's forecast looking fairly nice in the 40s for us here, tomorrow in the 60s. And on tonight's show, we're looking at a lot of things to talk about, but mainly the battle between winter and spring on tonight's edition of FSU Weather.
Hi guys, I'm student meteorologist Chandler Pruitt, and we start tonight off, it's been pretty gloomy out for the most part. While I was walking here to the show, I couldn't help but just look up in the sky and see the mist falling, and it's a comfortable condition, like at least the temperature's not too terribly cold. However, it is also unseasonably cooler whenever you compare it to the rest of our climatological data. But it's been pretty uncomfortable and rainy for today, gloomy like Robert mentioned, but we have something to look forward to for the next 7 days. Maybe see some sunshine, might get a little bit of rain though on Saturday. But for tonight's show, we'll talk about that rain that we will continue to see tonight. We'll talk about clearing up and how spring and winter are clashing, creating a lot of different conditions and a lot of different expectations. Always have to keep an eye out for that severe weather. However, right now that's not a threat. But I do know that the southeast has experienced a lot of rain. We are definitely a contrast to the rest of the nation, which has experienced a lot of dryness. So we will have to look forward to potentially seeing those flood conditions. And also on tonight's show, we'll be talking about the La Nina and El Nino patterns. Robert will give us a little bit of background into what is going on with those, what does that mean for our seasonal conditions, what does that mean for potentially hurricane season. Of course, being in the Gulf Coast, we have to keep an eye out for that. But for all that and more on FSU Weather, well, we'll talk all about that. But first, let's look at the local with David.
Yes, thanks, Chandler. And Chandler was mentioning, yes, it was cloudy out with the mist hitting you in the face. And looking over Doak Campbell Stadium, you see those low clouds associated with the next system that's going to come through and give us rain tonight. Currently, the temperature is 57 degrees, and it's cloudy, and there's a mist out there. If you're walking to or from your car, just outside walking the dog, you feel that mist blowing in your face because we have that wind at east at 7 miles per hour. Well, looking at the almanac for today, high temperature made it to about 59 degrees, which is below our average for this time of year and nowhere near a record that we set back in 1918 of 87 degrees. And the low is more than 56, not far off from our high due to that cloud cover, keeping the temperatures about close to each other, the highs and lows close to each other, nowhere near that. No, it's actually warmer than our average low should be at 45. Nowhere near the record low of 20 degrees that we set back in 1956. And temperatures around the Big Bend area currently in the low 50s as you go further north near Bainbridge, 57 here in Tallahassee. And down here in Perry, 58 degrees. And the dew points, they are on the rise. We have some moisture coming out of the Gulf, and so that rain is going to arrive tonight. We'll have periods of rain, which we'll talk about in the show. Currently, the dew point in Tallahassee is 56, and closer to the water, Apalachicola, it is a little bit higher since you're close to the water. And here's that rain that is north of us. It's slowly going to make its way and fill in the Big Bend area tonight, and we will be having periods of rain. There could be locally heavy amounts, but I believe it's about half an inch to anywhere about an inch of rain overnight tonight as that system moves through. And look at the water vapor imagery showing all that moisture just streaming across out of the Gulf of Mexico, across the Big Bend area, and that's going to light up those showers tonight. And looking at the future cast, see those showers pass by really fast tonight, but there will be some bouts of heavy rain associated with that. But by tomorrow, it will clear out, and the sun should return, probably peek through the clouds in the afternoon time. Probably in the morning, you'll see mostly cloudy conditions, but that sun will peek out as you get closer to the afternoon. Tonight's forecast, lows around the area, anywhere from 46 in Bainbridge, 46 in Monticello, and St. Mark's 49. Of course, here in the capital city, 47 degrees for a low tonight. And tomorrow, the sun will make its appearance again after we had a cloudy day today. You can expect some more sun as the time goes on tomorrow. And we should reach about a high of 64 here in Tallahassee, 61 in Thomasville, and down in Apalachicola, closer to the water, 64 degrees. Tonight, you can expect 47 degrees for a low. Periods of rain, there might be some heavy rain out there. Going out anywhere, make sure you have your umbrella with you. We'll have those winds out of the north at 7 miles per hour. As far as tomorrow goes, 63 degrees, mostly cloudy. Clouds will thin out as you go through the day, and we'll have north wind at 5 miles per hour. And there's a look at the rest of the forecast there for the next 3 days. Rain will diminish overnight tonight, and we'll have clear skies. Saturday, we do have some rain coming into the forecast, about 40% chance, and then we get back into sunshine. I'm going to hand things off to Chandler, who's going to talk about the southeast.
That's right. The same system that's bringing rain here in the Big Bend is bringing rain and cool temperatures across the southeast. See those temperatures in the 40s for most of the area. We have 44 in Jackson, 47 in Montgomery. Once we get up into Little Rock, they had more sunshine today, so they were up to 51. But as you make your way closer to the coast, we get back down into those 50s. And of course, Florida is the exception, at least Central and South Florida in those 70s currently. And we look at the Carolinas, they are also in the 40s. And looking at those dew points, pretty dry back behind that system. So we have very dry conditions until you get to Florida, but we will see those dew points drop. And looking at those winds, well, we have winds coming out of the north for those areas that that the cold front has already swept through. However, here we have winds coming out of the east at 7 miles per hour, finally making a little bit of a shift. We have this rain system, like I mentioned, that's really just creating a lot of rain for parts of southern Alabama, central southern Georgia, as well as rain off the coast of South Carolina. And of course, like I mentioned, that is a lot of rain, and we have had a lot of rain for most of the southeast. And so we will be looking at some, at least, river flooding threats across the southeast. And looking at the upper level water vapor, like David mentioned, we have a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. So a lot of moisture stretching from the Gulf all the way up into North Carolina, really just bringing in a lot of that rainier, cooler conditions. But behind it, we did see that there was that dry slot. So again, those dew points dropping as we get past the system. And for tonight's forecast, well, get down to the 30s, really close to freezing mark in most of the areas in western parts of the southeast. However, once we make our way towards Georgia and South Carolina, well, we will warm up a bit. The clouds will stick around, so that will act like a blanket, really keeping us a little warmer. And then as we look at Florida, well, we won't get down too much. We'll get down into the 60s and 70s. And then looking at tomorrow, well, our conditions, they will be pretty much the 60s for most areas except for Florida, which is always the exception. But now I'm going to pass things off to Robert to talk about the national.
Right, thank you, Chandler. Like you said, Florida is always the exception. We're going to see that on our national here, too. Look at these really warm conditions down in Miami. Right now, 79 degrees. And for most of the nation, not even seeing anything close. For most of you guys in Texas and the rest of the Central Plains, a nice reprieve from a few weeks ago with 60s for most of you guys. Cooler conditions to the west and towards the east just a little bit. Most of you guys in the mid-Atlantic region, maybe around New York, Washington, D.C., seeing you guys in the 40s. But again, look at us here in Florida, 79 down Miami, and even our 57 here in Tallahassee is on the warmer side. Again, looking at Florida being the exception with our dews. 66 in Miami, 56 in Tallahassee. By my standards, both those are pretty wet. Looking at for the rest of the nation, though, 19 Billings, -6. You saw that -6 in Boston. It's really dry over most of the nation, not even seeing anything close to us. We're basically the one only wet spot here in the entire U.S. Maybe a few snow showers coming in with this system up for you guys in upper Michigan and Canada. But looking here, this nice storm system going to give us some rain moving into the next few days. And we're only seeing this water vapor showing how wet we are here. Looking towards Texas, nice and dry for you guys right now, going in towards maybe the south a little bit, near Louisiana. And we might be seeing a little bit of this moisture with a new system coming in towards California. But the weather story for tonight is, again, this big system here in Atlanta, Tallahassee, giving us a lot of rain and very wet dews. Not going to help most of you guys who are in really big drought conditions. You can see where all of this wet moisture is going to be all of here, where we don't have a lot of drought, maybe a little bit of abnormally dry conditions, but where we have severe and exceptional drought, it's going to be still dry for you guys. So we're waiting for maybe this next storm system coming into California to help you guys out a little bit. Seeing this future radar, we're watching our system, of course, moved off towards the east here in the southeast. But again, this system over here towards the west might make its way towards these regions that need a little more moisture. So that's going to be a thing we're going to be watching into maybe Wednesday. Looking at our conditions, tonight, fairly nice conditions for most of us here. Nothing too cold like it was a few weeks ago. Nice 30s and 20s for most of you guys across the Central Plains and the north. Here in the south, it's going to be a little bit warmer. And in Los Angeles, it's our only really rain for tonight, actually, is in Los Angeles, because for most of us around the rest of us here, pretty dry. 48 degrees, 46 in San Francisco, and looking towards the southeast, still pretty mild, a little bit on the cooler side, I would say, if you look towards maybe Memphis and DFW. 40s for most of you guys, New Orleans being 48, and then, of course, Florida is the exception, 44 in Tallahassee and 62 for Miami. Tomorrow, it's going to warm up, of course, a little bit, 69 here in DFW, 71 in San Antonio, not here, I'm no longer in Dallas, 64 in Tallahassee and 87 in Miami. Going to be nice and warm for most of you guys in the south, south central, and west parts. Again, nice and cool, though, for you guys up towards Minneapolis, Chicago, seeing some 47s up near Boston and Washington, D.C. But again, all this cold air that we had, Siberian air a few weeks ago, has made its way off towards the north. You can really see in Canada where that is. But again, nice mild conditions because we have American air here for America. Nice 69 here in DFW and in Tallahassee. Now passing these off to Chandler.
Well, that's right, American air. Okay, well, we are sharing those conditions tonight. We have a potential for some rain tonight, just like Los Angeles, like Robert mentioned. So unlike most of the nation, Los Angeles and Tallahassee will be sharing a forecast. But when you look across those current conditions, we have a lot of clouds, very heavy clouds. They can indicate that we will see some rain tonight. And you can see that those clouds, well, they're getting darker as we see the sun setting. But with those current conditions, 57 is our temperature. We are cloudy, and again, we will see a bit of that rain that's starting to move in, at least mist currently. And looking at those temperatures across the Big Bend region, well, we have 50s across most of the area. We have 52 in Bainbridge and 53 in Valdosta. Once we get closer to the coastline, we get up to 61 in Apalachicola. And looking at those dew points, very similar story. That gradient really, we have higher dew points in Apalachicola around 60, but as you get closer to Georgia, well, we have those 50s and even 51 in Bainbridge. And looking at those winds, well, we have very variable winds. Most of it's coming out of the east, though. We have 12 miles per hour in Donaldsonville, and we have 40 would be crazy. 14 in Apalachicola. And looking at that satellite and radar, again, we have that rain in Bainbridge, and it's heavier rain in Dothan and Funiac Springs, and well, that stuff will come our way here shortly. We have some rain also building off the coast of Panama City, and it will make its way into Big Bend region tonight. So if you're out driving, be sure to take precautions. Just make sure you're safe when you're on the roads. And looking at the next 24 hours, like I mentioned, that rain really sweeps through. However, we see those clouds just push off by tomorrow afternoon, so we will see a lot of sun tomorrow. And looking at our tonight's conditions, again, 47 will be our low. Periods of rain with winds coming out of the north at 7 miles per hour. Tomorrow we will get up to 63. That sun will start to make its way out We will start off cloudy, however, we will warm up as that sun comes out. 63, that's pretty seasonable conditions. And then we have the wind that will be very light at 5 miles per hour. And looking at the week ahead, again, same story. Well, we have a lot of sun in store. We have sun on Thursday, and then as we get into Friday, but Saturday might be the exception. We'll see some rain potentially on Saturday. However, as we get into Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, more sun. And with those temperatures, they will also stay about where the sun is. You know, whenever we have those clouds, we'll have lower temperatures, but we'll get up into the 70s by Monday and into Tuesday, indicating that spring-like weather. I'll toss things now off to Robert to talk about that educational wall.
Thank you, Chandler. You can see right here with our 7-day, it actually is a little bit drier than you would expect here in Florida. We're going to talk about why right now we have El Nino and La Nina. Right for us here, we have a La Nina in effect, might be going towards neutral. Now, you might not know what all those words mean yet, but I will try to explain them to you in the next 2.5 minutes. Right here, you can see what's going on right now, La Nina conditions. Here, dry and warm weather across the south, and if that extends a little bit towards the southeast here, cool and wet for you guys up in North America. But the big player of the game here right now, here in the equator, that's where we're going to be talking about with these sea surface temperatures that really affect our weather. So you hear a lot about El Nino and La Nina. How do they actually affect our weather? Well, first off, El Nino, which again, we are not in right now, has a warm sort of conditions for most of you guys going all the way from Alaska to the Pacific Northwest, coming down into the plains and affecting you guys all the way in Nebraska. Dry conditions for most of us here in the southeast, except Florida, again, the exception. Gotta have that wet sort of area along the extended Pacific jet stream. That's essentially a nice track of moisture right here. Gives us a lot of storms too, but again, hurricanes, not so much. I'm going to talk about that in a second with La Nina. But again, this is El Nino, so if you hear people saying El Nino conditions are going to happen, this is what they mean. It's these conditions that are going to be nice wet for us here in the south, maybe warmer and drier for you guys up towards the north and north central. La Nina is what we're in right now. It's nice and cold conditions for you guys up towards the plains and Alaska. Wetter conditions off towards the Pacific Northwest, but here in the south, nice and dry conditions that continue into the southwest in Texas and California. All of you guys seeing these nice, dry and sort of warmer conditions, wetter conditions for you guys up towards Ohio. So why, you might ask, did we see these really cold and wet conditions a few weeks ago? Well, this isn't necessarily a sort of strict sort of thing that we always see. If La Nina is happening, it doesn't mean that you guys won't see moisture here, but it does mean that we will see some things, and some things that are drier. So that's where we're seeing this next into the week. Warm and dry conditions for us here. That's our current pattern. And you can see educationally wise, this is what La Nina and El Nino are here. Nice colder than normal conditions here in the sea and warmer conditions for El Nino. So that's essentially all it is. It does a lot more than you would expect, but that's basically all that El Nino and La Nina are. So now, having explained that, I will now pass things off to David to explain a little bit more of what's happening here in Florida.
Yes, thank you, Robert, for that educational piece on El Nino and La Nina. Currently around Florida, you can see that Jacksonville 54 degrees, and look at this. If you want some nice warm air, head down to South Florida, Miami 79, West Palm Beach 79 degrees. Give a shout out to my mom and my brother Eric in West Palm Beach here enjoying warmer temperatures as I am here in Tallahassee. Dew points are on the reasonable side up here in the northern part of Florida, 56 degree dew point in Tallahassee, but as you move down the state, it gets a lot more muggier down there in Miami. You see 66 degree dew point. And so where's the water vapor at? The water vapor is currently over North Florida and the southeast part of the United States. And we'll look at the radar. You see the showers will be associated with all this moisture streaming across out of the Gulf of Mexico. This is going to bring showers, periods of showers tonight for the Big Bend area, and we'll have, it'll all move out. And you see over here, this little dry pocket, that's what we're going to have for the next 2 or 3 days until our next system comes on Saturday. Currently the showers are right along this, there's actually a stationary front right about here in a low pressure system out here in the Gulf of Mexico. This is all going to move up to the northeast this way and be out of our hair by tomorrow. But tonight we will experience some periods of heavy rain. And right now it's north of us up in the Georgia, Alabama area. But this will all fill in tonight as the time ticks on. And Central Florida, you do have some sort of pop-up showers in the middle of the state. Nothing really significant, but there are some showers. You might experience one passing by your house. Probably only lasts like 5-10 minutes. In South Florida, some showers over the Everglades. Nothing near the metropolitan area. Maybe a little pop-up shower near Miami, but no heavy rain to speak of in South Florida. And how about those temperatures over the next few days? 87 degrees in Miami tomorrow with plenty of sunshine. Looks like a great beach day. 80 degrees for both Thursday and Friday. And we're going to take a look at Tampa. In Tampa, looks like you have a chance of thunderstorms tomorrow, 72% chance, high of 72, and then 73. But those temperatures eventually do ramp up to 77 degrees as you get into Friday. Orlando, chance of showers tomorrow, some thunderstorms, 74 degrees. We'll get up to 77 by Friday, so there's some sunshine in your forecast. Jacksonville, looks like there's a slight chance of showers tomorrow, 59, but look at those temperatures, get to 72. Oh, and they drop off again on Friday, 66 degrees. And Pensacola, there's a slight chance of showers tomorrow. You'll get the showers tonight, but then looking at the next 2 days, looks like that sun comes back out again. Tonight's lows around the Florida, 44 in Tallahassee. And of course, as you go further south, you see low 60s down in Miami and West Palm Beach. And tomorrow's forecast, see those temperatures getting into about the mid 60s in the North Florida. But as you get further south, you see those temperatures approaching 86, 87 degrees. I'm going to hand things now off to Chandler, who's going to take a look at the Sports Desk.
That is absolutely correct. Let's look at the live image of Doak Campbell. Well, we briefly saw it just there. Some nice cloudy conditions for us over Doak Campbell. Again, some of that rain coming in. But looking at airport delays, we have maybe a potential for a few possible airport delays because of that rain showers. But for the most part, we are sitting pretty normal. And looking at that dog walk forecast, we'll get up to 52 degrees by 11 a.m. Again, those clouds will clear out closer to later in the morning. Again, that rain clears out very early in the morning tomorrow, and then we will see those nicer conditions start to roll in by about midday. So if you are walking your dog, this is definitely a great opportunity to do so. Just make sure you do it probably closer to the noon to afternoon hours, unless you do bring a jacket. And looking at softball, well, they will be playing on Saturday, and that is our rainy day forecast. So we do have a potential for some rain, 58 degrees, so kind of cooler on the cool side, and also potential for some rain, so not quite enjoyable conditions. However, still come out and support them. And looking at baseball, well, they start off their first of the triple header on Friday. Again, 63 degrees and sunshine, so beautiful conditions to go support them. And then looking at our men's basketball, they're playing Boston College. Hopefully they continue the rise in the polls, but those conditions will be quite enjoyable on Wednesday. And then looking at Saturday, they will again be nice and enjoyable conditions. But now I'm going to toss things off to Robert to talk about our local for one last time.
Thank you, Chandler. Yep, we hope that our basketball team will do well. Of course, as everyone says, our famous saying, we are a basketball school, so we will try to root our team on. But right here at Doak Campbell Stadium, again, the most beautiful stadium in the world. We have the nice cloudy conditions, keeping our temperatures fairly nice for us here. Today, again, these clouds have kept us a little bit below our record, a little bit actually, quite a lot. 87 degrees, our average is 71, still below that, a little bit above our average in 45. Again, that is because our clouds sort of keep all this temperature in where it's at. Doesn't make us a little bit colder or even a little bit warmer than normal, kind of just below both of them, sort of in the middle. But for most of us here, again, nice conditions for most of us. You can't really say there's an area in the metro that really has bad conditions. Maybe a little bit rainy towards you guys in Bainbridge and Thomasville and Valdosta. Nice 52. We're seeing maybe a little bit closer to 60 here in Tallahassee and Perry. But we are seeing maybe a little bit on the muggier side. I don't know what these faces are saying. Maybe it's because I'm from Texas. But it is really on the muggier side here with our 50-degree dew points. Seeing Tallahassee, again, Maybe you're from South Florida. Maybe that's why you're smiling. But Thomasville, Bainbridge, Valdosta, again, not terrible. Not like summer here in Florida. Definitely nowhere near your 70s or 80s. But still, when you go walk outside, you'll feel it just a little bit with these 50 dews. Seeing the satellite radar, all this moisture making its way into the area is not without storms. Seeing a lot of storm action towards you guys in Dothan and Bainbridge, moving its way towards the east over the rest of the night tonight, and will make its way here overnight. We'll see a little bit of heavy rain here in Tallahassee once this sort of complex of storms makes its way in, which is what we'll be watching. Not only watching any severe storms, but again, it's going to move out a pretty good clip. So by the day Wednesday, we don't even have rain in the forecast because it's been through the night. And even these clouds by Wednesday at 6 p.m., we'll start seeing them moving out too. Maybe a few high clouds for you guys in Perry and maybe towards the coast. But our marine forecast, as I was saying, the coast, 74 degrees is your water right now. So pretty good conditions for you guys. A lot better than it was when it was in the 60s last week. Winds at north from 15 to 20 knots. Seas are going to be about 4 to 6 feet, and skies are going to be mostly cloudy. UV index low. So nice for you guys in the marine areas. Tonight, 47 periods of rain. North from 7 miles per hour is your wind. So fairly nice conditions for us here. Maybe a little bit on the cool side, but for spring, maybe winter into spring, it's fairly nice for us. Tomorrow, 63 and mostly cloudy, winds from the north at about 5 miles per hour, so even nicer conditions than today, Partly cloudy skies. That's what we're looking at. 50s for most of us here. And the week ahead, again, nice and dry for most of us. Maybe Saturday's a little bit of that outlier here at 40% chance of rain. But again, 60s and 70s for most of us, 40s for your lows. Now I'm going to pass things off for our closing with David.
Yes, thank you, Robert. And looking at that 7-day forecast, it's not too shabby. Once we have passed the night with the sort of heavy rain that we could receive tonight, we will have better weather for the next few days, and then we have that system come through Saturday, bringing us about 40% chance of showers. This is going to be like sort of a cloudy, raw day. And then look at those lows that we get into Sunday night, though, 39 degrees coming Monday morning. That may be the last blast of winter has for us, because look at those temperatures start rebounding during the day. 70 degrees on Monday and then 74 on Tuesday. And I believe the extended forecast, you can't see it on there, but I believe we get into the low 80s by the end of next week. So it's something to look forward to if you really missing that warm weather. It's like we were saying, it's the battle of winter and spring going on currently. And also, there are some games going on this weekend, this week actually, for FSU. Be sure to get out there, and if you have time, to go to the women's softball game. And also the men's baseball game. We have a triple header against Virginia Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Saturday is not such a great day, but get out there anyway to support us. Remember to follow us on Twitter, and also like us on Facebook, facebook.com/FSU Weather. And as always, watch us live on YouTube Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. at youtube.com FSU Weather. And follow us on Instagram. Send us those pictures, those weather pictures, maybe your pets and weather pictures, because I love pet pictures, dogs, cats, monkeys, you name it. That'd be awesome to really have some pictures sent to us, maybe some pictures of rainbows, whatever your liking is. But anyways, I'm student meteorologist David Stolzen. From all of us here at FSU Weather, have a great evening and join us again tomorrow.